Y'all, I am beyond excited for this game to come out. About 7 months ago, I covered a game on the channel by the name of The Finals, a fast-paced first-person shooter where 3 teams of 3 or 3 teams of 4, depending on the game mode that you play, all compete to secure the most amount of cash before time runs out. Well, it's back, better than ever, and in open beta until the 5th of November. So without further ado, go ahead and grab 2 friends and make it rain as we talk about The Finals. And if you enjoy what you see today, be sure to sub to the channel. Okay, let's continue. This game has been living rent-free in my head for months now, and not only because it's a fun game that offers something different, but because it's made by Embark, a studio pretty much made up of ex-Battlefield devs. With this open beta, we've got quite a bit of new stuff. For starters, we have a brand new map called Skyway that sees you fighting inside of an actual stadium. We also see a brand new mode called Bank It. This mode pins 3 teams of 4 against each other, trying to secure the most amount of coins. You get these coins either by killing other players or finding vaults, and if you die, you lose all your coins. In the grand scheme of things, this is very much like Kill Confirmed. We've also got a 16-tier battle pass with rewards you'll be able to keep once the game comes out, which is a huge W in my opinion. And to add to the mix, we finally have some sights on some weapons. I've mainly been using the FCAR and the MP5, but I can confidently say that these guns are okay. Not better than the AK or the MAC-10, but they get the job done just a tiny bit. I mean, there are some new guns, but none of them really compare to the base ones in my honest opinion. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, not a lot going on in this beta, but we sure as hell got a lot to talk about. After not playing this game for about 7 months, I seriously thought that maybe they would do something to change the TTK ever so slightly, but no. It still feels like I'm shooting Nerf darts at solid titanium. And I already know what some of you are gonna say. Just use the FCAR, Blackout. No. The base damage of the AK and the base damage of the FCAR are the same, but the FCAR has a higher headshot damage modifier, but you downgrade from a 30-round mag to a 20-round mag. In this game, where the bigger mag and the better aim wins you gunfights, losing 10 bullets is a major high-risk, high-reward situation, especially for the medium class. One last thing. I don't know who at Embark thought a riot shield was a good idea, but they must have been smoking Snoop Dogg levels of boof, because that damn shield is a nightmare to compete against. Thankfully, a lot of players look at this and think, why in God's name would you want to use a riot shield in a game like this? Trust me, you're pretty much a walking wall with a police baton that's borderline impossible to kill solo. Now, surprisingly enough, I think out of all 3 classes, the medium class is the best hands down. It's the most balanced, the most diverse, and the most useful no matter what game mode you're playing. The heavy class though, y'all need to figure out what to do with this big burly bitch because I cannot for the life of me find a use for him. For starters, his flamethrower is a major cheeseball weapon. And sure, you can't snipe someone with it, but you get within social distancing range and the heavy is expediting you straight to the crematory. Mostly because it does the same amount of damage as either the M60 or the Louis gun, but because it's a flamethrower, it does burn damage which will absolutely tank your health and your sanity. This walking war crime is solid when you're attacking, but just forget about taking his ass head on when it's time to fight one of them. And to add on to that, pretty much any gun you choose in this class has the same equivalent of throwing cotton balls at people. The grenade launcher you think would pack a punch, but the feeling of using it is like eating a Hot Pocket. It looks good on the outside, you're looking forward to enjoying it, but when you go to take that first bite, the shit is borderline frozen and it ruins your entire afternoon. Also, someone take this damn sledgehammer away from him or nerf it, because I don't need a yoked up Triple H taking me from 250 HP down to 0 in 2 swings. So yeah, the heavy class isn't for me at the end of the day, but while I still feel like I can do something with the heavy, how anyone can do anything with the light class makes my damn head hurt. The light class is meant for players that like to go fast. To hell with holding down the fort or protecting the objective, they like to be the first ones in and the first ones out. Too bad they're more fragile than mechanical pencil lead. Everything from the abilities to the weapons to the gadgets, the light class shouldn't even be optimal, but it's one of the classes that gets picked damn near the most. If you're a light player, please make this make sense to me. Now that we have the classes out of the way, let's talk about the Skyway Stadium map. I think it's a really solid map, but I don't think it's the best. I think my personal favorite has to be Seoul, but it's damn near neck and neck with Morocco. If Embark can focus on making maps similar to those, they'll be alright. And I think my main issue with Skyway is that it is just too damn confusing to navigate compared to maps like Seoul and Morocco. Another thing I want to mention is that right now the game is grindy, but almost too grindy. It's one of those games where winning gets you the biggest and best XP and battle pass gains, but even when I win, I feel like I cleared a mile out of a 26-mile marathon. Now, I'm not saying that they need to make the game easy to level up in, but maybe just boost the XP gain a little bit. It would be much appreciated. One of the last things that I want to touch on is the amount of bugs, right? I know it's a beta, but I'm mentioning a few of them because I really don't want to see these make it into the final build. Some of the most noticeable things were the defib paddles would occasionally not revive someone on the first charge, or the paddles wouldn't even make contact when you were on top of the statue. There was also a reload bug, and even though I didn't experience it much myself, a buddy of mine named Arctic Soldier experienced it quite a bit. Basically what happened is you'd be stuck reloading the gun, and to fix it, you'd have to swap the different gadgets and do a bunch of other stuff in order for the gun to reload properly. Classes also didn't update a lot, so even if you were to change the skin or remove stickers off your weapon, they'll just come right back once you load in. Sometimes the jump pads wouldn't activate, so you'd have to walk over it 1 or 2 more times for it to spring you up. I also noticed that the mantling really wasn't consistent. Like, there'd be times where I go to grab the ledge and mantle it, but then I just get thrown off the ledge anyways. Another issue I didn't really have but heard about quite a bit were keybinds being randomly switched. Like, one of my friends had his left mouse button bound to sprint instead of fire. I didn't have that one personally. All my binds seemed to work great, but there are some that had major issues with them. And I think that's about it I can think of at the moment. If you've experienced some of these or ones that I didn't even mention, let me know down below. I'm not going to mention anything about the cheaters because honestly, as much as I hate to say this, every game's going to have cheaters. The beta for MW3 should have shown everyone that these people have no shame, no matter if it's a beta, alpha, full release, whatever it is. For my final thoughts, the Finals is a game that the first-person shooter space needs. It's fresh, it's fun, it's exciting, and it's something that will continue to grow over time as long as Embark stays on top of it. I know that there are going to be people actively trying to compare this game to Hyperscape, and there's something that needs to be said about that. If you think this bears any resemblance to that god-awful dumpster fire of a game, you need help. Furthermore, you see this? This is what you're doing. You know what you need to do? Stop. Now, while I have incredibly high hopes about this game's future, the #1 complaint amongst the player base is the TTK, and if we're being honest, it's fucking unbearable at times. But I think Embark doesn't want a fast TTK game or something bordering on the lines of realism. There's too many games in the industry that do it, and it's overstaying its welcome a bit. If I'm assuming right, they want something arcadey, and in all honesty, this does feel like Halo's TTK more than anything. I know I ribbed it earlier in the video, but it's honestly not that bad once you get used to it. Now, I don't know what the game plan is going forward when it comes to classes, maps, weapons, etc., right? My only hope is that with the classes, they make them unique, but not too overpowering. For the weapons, they make them practical, but something worth using. For the maps, making them exciting and fun, but not making them too vertical or too flat. It's a fine line that they have to walk on, but they've been walking it pretty damn well so far. And I can only imagine what the game is going to become once it launches. Now I turn the mic to you. Let me know down below what you think about the Finals. And while you're down there, go ahead and smash that like button and completely topple that sub button to all so YouTube can show you my content free of charge. Also, consider becoming a member of the channel. It's $3 a month, you get exclusive perks, and it all goes back to the channel one way or another. Shout out to the current members that I have. Y'all are absolute legends. This is Sir Blackout signing off to knock down an entire building and secure a Santa-sized bag in the process. Later.